Welcome to part 6 of the dumpster dive base build. I think it's going to be 7 parts this. I might be wrong, it might be 8. But yeah, in this part, next getting done, finished with. Then we're going to start, I'll show you the process I go through for flat sanding and polishing the finish on the body, the paint on the body, to get a nice gleamy look. Actually, there's probably a little bit of a disaster coming up, and I'll show you that too. And I'll show you my decision that I made after that small disaster. Yeah, so let's get going with it. Let's screw this up. So now that the linseed oil has sank into the back of the neck and the headstock, what I did then was I went over it with some boiled linseed oil in my mineral spirit mix, and I'm just rubbing all this in to the neck, the fingerboard that I kind of extensively reworked on this, just to make sure that it's all sealed. And when this cures, there's not much moisture is going to get in there. It'll be all nice. I've oiled it already. I'm just wiping this down a little bit, and I'm going to wait, like I say, 15 minutes for this to just soak into the rosewood here. This is rosewood. I do like to use boiled linseed oil with mineral spirits on rosewood. It just gives me a great finish and a very durable fingerboard. So we just leave that for 15 minutes and then we'll wipe it down, and that's it. We'll set the neck out to dry now for about a week, which is in correspondence with the body. We'll be starting the polishing process on the body within maybe 3 or 4 days. So yeah, everything's coming together on this dumpster dive base build. Tis. Okay, it's wet sanding time. Wet sanding time, yes. And the purpose, of course, of this is to flatten the surface completely without burning through the poly finish, to get everything flat and ready for buffing and polishing. So I already went over the front of the body here with 1200 grit. I was able to get away with 1200. Sometimes, you know, depending on how well you spray, if you don't spray too good, then you have to back off to like 800 and sometimes 600 to start the leveling process. But it was a good spray job, and I got down to 1200, and that's the body at 1200 grit. Now it has a matte appearance right now. I haven't burnt through. I intentionally left very slight low spots on here for the next grit, which will be 2000 grit paper that I have here. I'm using a rounded block for this. Okay, I'll just pull that in, and you just start sanding. Now the solution I have here is pure odorless mineral spirits. I don't use water per se, because even though it's kind of sealed in there, any bare wood holes there, if water gets in there, it might seep into the wood and cause swelling and therefore cracking of the finish. So mineral spirits is good for this, and we'll start here. A bit more of that, and just light pressure on this. No need to go crazy with pressure. And I'm counting in my head how many rotations I'm doing here. I usually about 60 or 70, about halfway through now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. And I'll leave it at that, and then I'll check my work. Back into the drink with that. A shop towel, and I'll clean this off. And that's looking good. And I'm not getting any pink residue at all. If I got pink residue, which is kind of weird because I'm using this for places near the corners. I should use a white eraser because I saw pink on it, but it was just the stuff off the eraser. That looks good. Yeah, that looks pretty good there. Okay, so we'll continue on with 2000, then probably go to 3000, then finally 5000 before I start using polishing compounds on this abrasives. So that's what you do. The whole body has to get done like that. I'm going to leave the edges right now, actually. If it does need polished up, I'll be very gentle with it, and maybe just use an abrasive polishing compound for the edges instead of the leveling process, because the edges are extremely flat, and you don't want to, when you come off to the side here, the poly is thinnest, or the clear coat is thinnest around the edges here. You got a really big chance of burning through, so just leave them. Okay, it'll all blend in the end, don't worry. Cool. Okay, front down to, it's only needed 3000 grit. This is good to polish now. Looks matte, but you know, it's good to polish. However, big faux pas. Okay, and I know exactly what happened here. Turn this over. I'm going to show you this by isolating it, and I might pick it up. See that? That's burned through, and it went right through to the wood. That never usually happens with me, ever. I think the issue was that that piece of wood was, or whatever it is, I mean, was non-absorbent, so it didn't take primer, it didn't take paint, you know, the colour, and then it didn't take the coat afterwards, and it was not apparent. It looked flat. There was no blister there. As you can see, it was a blister. As you can see by the shape there, it's a blister. So I, using 1200 grit, which I used on the front of the base, I went pop, 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 and it just went plop. And I was like, what the smeg, you know. If you watch Red Dwarf, what the smeg, right? I thought, well, you know, I could relic the base or not, but I'll just leave it there. You know, this was a one-off. I had one-off paint, one-off everything on this, so I'm going to leave it there. I'll just leave it there. That's fine. I mean, I can drop water into that and it will still bead and not sink into the wood. It would evaporate. There's something in that piece there that I don't understand, and because it's wood I did not select at the start of it. Listen to all my excuses here. Yeah, but it's true. I mean, it's wood I didn't understand, I guess, and you know, and there it is. That's what happens. Look, I want to be really honest and transparent when I'm doing this sort of stuff, so that you guys don't do the same thing, you know. So yeah, that's like when you had chicken pox when you were a kid and you did that, and that's what happens, you know, stuff like that. So anyway, we'll go on. This is all polished down now to 3000 grit on the back, and I can go ahead and just buff this up. I'm going to leave that there. That'll be fine. Looks nice anyway. And if somebody wants a relic base, I'll put pinholes in it and screw it up even further. Okay? Cheers, folks. So, despite what happened to the clear coat on the back here, with the very strange burn through it, just flaked off. I've decided just to go ahead and finish the base and then probably take it apart again and refinish the body. Very strange. The clear coat is completely intact on the front but not on the back. Very strange. Well, you live and learn, but I didn't really learn anything from it because, you know, I don't know what the hell went wrong. So I will do it again. We will do it again. That's all. But I'm going to get the base finished up, and I'm doing a rubbing here of the back cavity cover because I don't have one that's the exact size. So it's just doing a rubbing here to get the outline. Then we'll take this off and cut that outline out and use it as a template on a scrap piece of thin wood, probably eighth of an inch thick wood, and that will make a template for any other material I would like to make this cavity out of. Okay, let's go do it. So that's it cut out. Let's see if it approximately fits. It fits really well. That's good. Slight bit of fat on it, which is intentional. But yeah, that's going to be our template to make a new control cavity cover for the dumpster dive base. Indeed. So yeah, I'm pretty confident I can make this. I'll set this aside and we'll start the cavity shielding for the electronics. Cool. Okay, before I do the shielding of the cavities, I got to find out where the bridge lives, because I need to drill a channel in here for the grounding wire for the bridge. So what I've done here, as you can see, the neck has been fitted and it's actually bolted on right now in its real position. I have 2 wires running down, and also I got this base. I found a nice brass nut blank that I had, so I cut a brass nut for it. And I've got my wires out again here, running down, making sure that the spacing between this wire and the end here and this wire and the end here is the same. Let's just adjust that a little bit. It's a scale of 34 inch, so I calculated that the bridge should be 2.75 inches away from this neck, bridge pickup. And that's, I've got 2.75 inches dialed into the calipers here, and that's about right. As you can see, it moves quite a bit because it's not stuck down yet. So if that's the same and that's the same, which it is, that's where the bridge lives. This gap here is equidistant to this. That's where the bridge lives. Now I'm going to go and mark up where the 2 end holes here, and then we'll fit that and then get the other holes marked up, and we'll get that fitted and taken off again, of course, because we need to drill the channel in here for the grounding wire for the bridge. So cool, that's how it's going to look. Awesome. Yes, so here we are at the soldering or soldering station, depending on which side of the pond you're on. And yeah, I'm going to be getting all the electronics done. It's a passive base, it's fairly simple wiring. We'll get that done. Of course, I have installed the pickups and stuff on the front. I'll show you that later once everything's wired up, and when we test the circuit. So it's just a case of getting everything connected, get the old shrink wrap out there, and let's go for it. Let's start connecting this little puppy up and see if it actually makes a noise. Okay, as is the usual here at Gary Denyer Custom Bases, it's testing time. it's just a straight like passive jazz bass kind of harness I put in here, and we'll see if we get a noise. It's plugged in, switch on the little amplifier. Whoa, no noise. That's good. It's going to ground. That's good. Okay, so all volumes down. Nothing there. Neck pickup up max. That's a bit crackly. It is an old harness. It's a dumpster dive bass. Oh, it's alive. It's alive. And then nothing there. Okay, let's turn up the neck pickup to max. Let's turn the bridge pickup down. And there's a little bit of signal blend, but not much. That's good. And back down again. And then kill. The controls are a little bit scratchy, but I'll use some deoxyate, which I don't have on hand right now to show you, but yeah, I'll spray some of that in there. That'll clean up the pots. This harness must be, my god, I've used this for testing so much. It's got to be more than 10 years old, maybe more. But that's good. Everything's cool. Some nice chrome knobs to put on there. I'll just stick them on right now. In fact, they're the pushy on ones. Yeah, looking like a bass. Awesome. That's it for part 6. Interesting, right? In the next part we're going to get this bass assembled and see if it makes a bass-like noise. Looking forward to that. If you're enjoying the series so far and haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. It's free. And yeah, give me a thumbs up, ring that notification bell so that you will be notified when I upload more content. That's a better way of saying that, isn't it? Yeah, so until the next time, stay safe, be good, and thank you very much for watching. Cheers folks, take care, bye bye.